Land navigation. It's pretty much standard protocol in the military that if you want to lose your new platoon commander in the woods, you throw him a compass and tell him to head north. This illustrates it here pretty well. It says, "Sir, welcome to 1st Platoon. We're in the field at Whiskey Zulu 6425724. The men are looking forward to meeting you. Eventually. Signed FFC Johnson. P.S. We got you a compass." Land navigation in the military is not as easy as it may appear. They send you through this course, this long lecture on how to navigate and how to read a map, how to read a compass. And at the end of the course, they will test your abilities. They'll throw you a 10-digit coordinate, several of them, and say, "Here you go, plot it out on your map, go find your checkpoints and come back." And so often I would see these young men hurriedly sit down, racing, trying to scribble out their coordinates, trying to plot it out on the map, and then they take off. And you don't see them till hours, and I mean hours later. Why? Because they would fail to read their map. They would fail to consider the obstacles that may be in the way. They wouldn't look at the ravines. They wouldn't look at the streams. They wouldn't look at the lakes or the rivers or the high cliffs. They would fail to look at the thick brush or whether it's an open desert or an open road. They would fail to look at these different variables on a map. They would fail to ponder the path that they're going to take. Solomon, in Proverbs chapter 5, warned his son of the immoral woman because her paths will lead him to destruction. He said in verse 5, "Her feet go down to death, her steps take hold on hell." And the reason why he said to avoid her is because she would entice him. She would put obstacles in his pathway, lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life. Her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them. I remember one time I had to go through an obstacle course while I was stationed in Okinawa. At the end of the course, we were going through this very thick, slimy clay. We had to go through a ditch that was probably 3, maybe 4 feet wide, about 6 feet tall, carrying a 200-pound man. And it wasn't all just straight. Towards the end of it, we had to climb up a path like this. Talk about slippery, trying to navigate, to grasp, to hold on to something, to find your way to get to the top. And that's how this immoral woman is. Her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them. Some people will look at sin and try to analyze it with their mind and say, I will only go so far. I will only go this way go so far down this path. And then I'm going to put on my brakes and I won't go that far. I'll stop. But James, he warns us in his epistle and says, "Every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then, when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death." Solomon told his son that her feet go down to death, and that her steps take hold on hell. And so, when we navigate, when we ponder the path that we're going to take in life, we've got to pray and ask for God's direction, as King David did in Psalm chapter 5, verse 8. "Lead me, O Lord, in thy righteousness because of mine enemies. Make thy way straight before my face." 27, verse 11. Teach me thy way, O Lord, and lead me in a plain path because of mine enemies. I pray that you would take the time to ponder your path and to consider the way that you take. May God bless you.